When I first started looking into van life, it seemed like a luxury dream lifestyle. I'm talking about stunning park-ups everywhere you go, mega build vans that cost as much as a flat, with coffee machines, Sky TV, and bowls containing yoghurt, berries, and uncooked oats. I thought I was just one purchase of a Volkswagen Crafter away from living like I was at the White Lotus for the rest of my life. So why, a couple of years later, do I feel more like a miserable divorced dad, eating a pot noodle in a travel lodge by the side of a motorway? I'll tell you why. It's because the van life we see on social media is bull. Well, sort of. It's at least 50% bull. Because while I've definitely lived some of my own Americanized Instagram bait van life in Tuscany and the south of France, most of the time it's a miserable slog. But that's okay, because you can't have van life without life. So, without further ado, here are 10 van life myths you need to ignore. Every park up is beautiful. This is the bread and butter of van life content, opening your back doors to a mountain view or stunning ocean. And I've had these views myself. They are real, but only like 1 in 20 times. Don't expect it every time. And more importantly, there's so much more to a great park up than the view out the back door. I don't want to wake up to a mountain view if it comes with a Bosnian nitty demanding I pay him £1.60 or else he'll stab me. In my top 5 van life park ups, I have one on the edge of Lake Maggiore in Italy, and one in an IKEA car park in Wembley, and to be honest, I don't have a sure favourite. Every day is fun. Another van life content staple is that it's just a constant adventure of hiking, paddleboarding and feeding stray dogs. But the truth is, the only people whose lives are a constant adventure are the ones born into generational wealth, or the people who work on David Attenborough programmes. That's why I spent 4 hours the other day at a laundrette in Brixton, arguing with the woman working there to give me my change back from the machine. Then another hour bringing up pub laws to the 18-year-olds working in Wetherspoons, so that they'd fill my bottle up. Van life has just as many chores, if not more, than normal life. And it's difficult hiring a cleaner to clean your van for you, so you're the one stuck doing them. It's an escape from society. I understand the draw of hiding out for months in some corner in Europe or America, completely disconnected from the rest of the world. And my van has fully off-grid electricity, so I can stay out of it for a while too. But you can't off-grid your water, your food, or your diesel. Like it or not, you're going to be spending a lot of times in petrol stations and supermarkets. And if you're thinking, oh, but that Californian couple spend weeks at a time in the forest, they're so cut off from societal structures. What? The couple you saw on Instagram or YouTube doing sponsorship deals for Youll and NordVPN? Guess what? They're just as locked into the matrix as you are. Van life will solve your problems. When I finished building my van, I thought it was a clean reset and I could leave all of my worries or bad thoughts behind. I often get anxious, especially about illness or mortality, and thought that travelling in the van could distract me for long enough that I'd get over it. It took me a while to realise that I'd have to address the issue myself, so I talked to a therapist about it. Lo and behold, speaking to her helped me feel a lot better and meant that I could really enjoy doing van life, and not just use it as a distraction. But if your schedule isn't set in stone, like when you're doing van life, it can be hard to commit to regular sessions. So you need something more flexible that can fit around you. BetterHelp is the paid partner of this video, and what I love about them is that flexibility is one of their biggest perks. They're on a mission to make starting therapy easier. Fill out a questionnaire and you'll match with a therapist as soon as possible, and you can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost if it isn't the right fit. They have over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot. I've enjoyed using them and believe from my experience that BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/LondonVanlife to get 10% off your first month of therapy. You need a super expensive build. If I type in van conversion on YouTube, I'm bombarded with these ridiculous spaceships that people have somehow converted a 2008 Mercedes Sprinter into. And by the way, it's not a DIY van build if your actual job is being a carpenter. Admittedly, my van was quite expensive and follows the classic basic bitch camper build. But you can do van life in anything. If you put a blanket and pillow down and sleep in your boot, you're doing it. If you're weeing in a Coke bowl, you're doing it. Whether you're in the Welsh countryside or outside B&Q like me. Everyone says they want to try van life, and what stops loads of people is seeing someone with a full barista setup behind their steering wheel and thinking, well, I could never do that. But don't worry about it. You do you, king. You'll become a minimalist. People think that once you move into a van, you'll give up all worldly possessions and start to live a simple life. If that's the case, then why do I own a Le Creuset oven dish without even owning an oven? It turns out, in my experience at least, you just find ways to cram all of your stuff into an even smaller space. Until not long ago, I was lugging around a full set of golf clubs. I even have a kayak in the front, and unless the River Thames suddenly stops becoming a complete biohazard, I don't think I'm going to use that anytime soon. If you weren't a minimalist before you moved into your van, you're probably not going to be a minimalist once you do. You're just going to find new van-related things to buy instead. It's a super cheap way of living. Van life is obviously cheaper than renting a flat, but it's not a complete life hack to saving money. And to be honest, if money saving is your sole reason for moving into a van, you're probably not going to have a very good time. It's still on you to shop smart, invest your money and not buy stupid things you don't need. I'm going to hold my hands up. I bought an oat dirty chai from Gales this morning. It cost £4.80. I'm not proud of it. You can save money doing van life, but you've got to decide if it's worth it. You will finally find yourself. I don't know why social media has pushed the idea that living in a 3x6 metal container is a kickstart to a spiritual awakening. You're still the same person, whether you live in a van or a house. Van life isn't just a slightly more acceptable alternative to doing DMT, it's a full-on lifestyle that you have to commit to. Maybe travel does make you find yourself a little bit. I don't know, maybe I could be more spiritual. I think deep down I might just be worried that, if I do find myself, he might turn out to be a twat. You won't be tied down. Pure freedom is an exciting thought when it comes to van life, and it's good to not worry about staying by a house or office-based job. However, when things that were once simple, like taps or places to do a poo, suddenly become luxuries, they become a lot harder to let go of. It's too tempting to stick around a car park for one more day knowing you can drop the kids off comfortably. And before you know it, you have actual spreadsheets of your favourite places to get rid of rubbish or shower naked in the open. Freedom literally makes you more organised and routine focused. It works as a temporary solution. I see it all the time on the internet. People talk about van life as a stopgap to either save money, figure out what they want to do in the next 6 months, or try and start a TikTok. But van life should never be a temporary fix. It should be a permanent one. Van life is one of the best things I've ever done. It's allowed me to travel all over Europe and has also allowed me to approach living in London in a new and unique way. There's all sorts of discussions on the internet about how van life's dead or doesn't work anymore, but I think it's thriving. And if you're thinking about doing it, just do it. What's stopping you from weeing in that bottle outside of IKEA? One day we'll all be dead soon anyway. See? I'm talking about death. That's progress. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if there's any myths you agree on, or any you think I got wrong. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Click here to watch me doing van life in IKEA, and click here to watch me doing van life in London. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.